Hello!
Ahoy!
Welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome back. Welcome aboard the Bottom of the Stream boat.
Streamboat.
Yeah,
That's what we call it.
we do. We always have. I don't know why I hesitate.
Yeah, nor do I.
And yeah, we're here, as we are every Thursday, talking about a movie, a random movie
Yep.
that we found on Netflix.
Yeah, we just find
Trying
these
to find
random
a
movies on Netflix,
hidden
we
gem.
watch them, and then let you know if you should watch them as well. That's
Except-
basically what we do.
This week it wasn't random
No.
because
Well, you picked it randomly, but you picked it.
I got to choose it
You did.
because this is my wild card pick for this season of Bottom of the Stream.
It is indeed. Once a season, me and Nick both get wild cards, so we can pick the films that we watch. Our patrons also get them. And this season, we've given one away as a prize as well. So
Yeah.
it's an extra wild card bonus this season that's coming up. But yeah, this is Nick's movie. This is called Tramps.
It is.
It was released in 2016. It's a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 22 minutes. Currently rated at 6.5 on IMDb and is a Netflix original. 6.5 out of 10. It's on the higher end of what we do.
Yeah. I mean, it's very close to last week's movie,
Yeah, that was 7?
which
Maybe?
we weren't a massive fan of.
No.
We thought it was okay.
Yeah,
But
thought it
we
was
weren't
okay.
massive
It was
fan
meh.
of
It was too high.
Yeah.
This week's movie stars a guy called Callum Turner. He
Okay.
plays the character of Danny. He's in the Harry Potter universe. He plays
Yes.
Theseus Scamander in the Fantastic Beasts movies.
I think I've only seen the first one.
I've only seen the first one as well. He's also in one of the worst movies I've ever seen,
Okay, nice.
which is
one?
Assassin's Creed with Michael Fassbender.
I've never seen that.
It's
I want to
terrible.
see it.
Don't see it.
I still want to see it.
Yeah, but it's not even like worth seeing because it's bad. It's just bad. Bad. He's also in one of the best movies I've ever seen. He's
Okay.
in a movie called Green Room.
Well, it all balances out.
Yeah, exactly. Green Room's directed by Jeremy Saulnier, who has done a couple of movies on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a name we haven't come across for a while. Back in the day, we used to come across him quite a lot.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff with Netflix a few years ago.
Yeah, he did.
And, well, it takes years to make a movie, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, but Green Room's one of his better ones, and he's Callum Turner's in that.
Cool.
Also stars a lady called Grace van Patten.
Sure.
She plays Ellie. She's in a Netflix original TV show called Maniac with the big guy from Superbad. What's his fucking name?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
So you were doing something weird with your fingers, and
I
I
was trying
thought
to get my fingers to remind me what
I
Jonah
didn't
Hill
know
was
if,
called.
if you were doing like a Wayne's World flashback.
I've seen a few episodes of Maniac. It isn't for me. I don't think it's a bit weird. It's one of those weird shows.
Is that his like therapy one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's also in 9 Perfect Strangers, which was a TV show that came out on Hulu, I think,
Right.
earlier this year or last year, that did really well. So went over quite well. Written by Adam Leon and Jamund Washington, and directed by Adam Leon. This is the second of 3 films that he's ever made, and he seems to take 5 years between each one.
Okay.
So he's due another. No, his last one came out last year, 5 years after his previous this one. And the one before that came out in 2011, so he seems to take 5 years to make a film.
That's how maths works.
Yeah, don't know how he's taken 5 years to make this one, but we'll see what we think of it right now. Do you have a one-word review of it, Nick?
Briefcase.
Briefcase wanker. That should have been it.
Didn't want to do it. I'm sticking to one word.
Okay. Makes a fucking change. Where does this film start, Nick? What was going on at the beginning?
We're in a bookies,
Yep.
kind of.
I thought we were.
There's some kind of weird. We're in a flat,
Yeah.
an old lady's flat.
Yeah.
She's running a bookies on the side
Yeah.
with her son.
Yeah. I thought that's what was happening. I just wanted you to confirm it for me because it doesn't get referenced again for the rest of the movie.
Well, it does later because she cancels like the
Yeah.
next session. But yeah, but the kid who we later found out is Danny is basically he's running the book, but he's also doing it. I say technology in inverted commas because they seem to be watching the horse racing on an old laptop over a slow Wi-Fi connection.
Very much so.
But there's 4 or 5 old geezers laying the money down, and there's an illegal bookmakers.
Appears to be how
Money.
they're making money, this
Yeah.
family. Now, you say kid, Danny's probably, 17,
Yeah.
18-ish? Yeah, so they pay up and all these old geezers leave.
They all seem to lose. They all hand in
they
money.
all hand money as they leave. Yeah, they seem to hand money as they leave. And that never gets referenced again during the whole movie.
And then Danny cooks.
Yeah, he does. He preps a meal.
He seems to be the cook in the family.
Yeah.
In this family unit.
He cooks he plates up 3 meals. It looks like carrots and tomatoes. I think that's all it was, but it looked
There was something
nice.
hot to there.
Yeah, maybe. he plates up 3 meals, but only him and his mother show up.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to eat. No, you need to wait for whoever's coming.
Yeah.
Then the phone rings. And it is a guy called Darren.
Yeah.
Who is Danny's older brother
Indeed.
and the firstborn son of this lady. Who's
Correct.
also there.
And it's his plate.
This is the family.
But
and
it's
it's
going
his plate.
cold or warm.
But it's going to go cold because he's in jail.
Yeah.
And he's in jail in Atlantic City. And these people live in New York.
He's like, I got in a bit of a scrape last night, but I'm not going to tell you the details. Basically, I ended up smashing this dude's car window.
Yeah.
I'm here overnight.
Yeah. I'll be out in the morning. It'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I'll be
But
back tomorrow.
I'm not going to be able to get out. But because of this, Danny, I need you to do a job for me tomorrow.
Yeah.
I need you to basically go and pick up a briefcase.
Do a bag swap.
Yeah, do a bag swap, basically.
Yeah. Be the bag man on this deal that's going down.
Danny doesn't really want to do it. He's
No.
never been involved in this sort of nefarious behaviour before.
Yeah.
His mum insists that he does do it because Darren appears to be the favourite child.
Yeah, but I presume what we're not getting told is that Darren's just totally lying to her and said, look, I need to do some favour, and his mum's just goes along with it, doesn't she?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's your setup, I guess.
Yeah, we briefly see a young girl get kicked off a train.
Yep.
And then from there, that hits into the title card. She hasn't got a ticket. That's why she gets thrown off the train.
No.
This is Ellie. Ellie makes it into New York City from this train.
I think Darren tells Danny there's a $1,500 payday in
He
it.
does, yeah.
If they can do this bag switch.
Ellie is then talking to her. I've written boss, but I'm not really sure the relationship that was going on here. There's a lot of stuff in this movie. I'm not really sure what was going on.
This is kind of, it's intercut, isn't it? So as Darren is telling Danny, this is what you need to do as part of this job.
Yeah.
Ellie has been told by her boss, this
Yeah.
is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And the assumption is they're both involved in the same job somehow.
That's the assumption. Boss invites her to stay overnight at his house, which she politely declines.
No, she says she will.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, you can sleep next to me if you want. I've got room. I've got a queen size bed. She's like, no, I'm fine on the couch. You absolute creep.
Yes, basically. She's quite polite about
Yeah.
it. But yeah, he is an absolute creep. Cut to the next morning. We have an interspersed montage of the two of them getting ready. And eventually they go outside and they meet up at the same car.
Yeah, Danny is told, isn't he? Your job
to
is to swap this briefcase with the
Content
of
somebody's going to drop a bag through the car. They've got to go and pick up a bag.
Yeah.
Which they do. They go together. They get in this car. We are going to be not quite sure what happens in this story because it doesn't make a lot of sense when you break it down. They meet up together, go away in this car. A man drops a bag through the
Ellie's
back
the
window.
driver.
Yeah, she's driving.
And Danny's the bag man.
Yes. So another man drops a bag through the back window of the car and they drive off. So
But
they've got this bag.
He sidles over, says, leave the back window down.
Yeah.
And then he goes off screen and you hear all these alarms going off.
Yeah.
Then he returns, drops the briefcase into the car and they drive off.
Yeah. So they've got the briefcase.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They then split up. That's the two of them done. They've done their job.
She drops him at the
Train station.
where he's got to make the swap.
Yeah. Already it doesn't make any sense to me. Why is it taking two of them to go and pick this bag up?
There's way too many people in this plan and you
Way
can
too
see
many
why it
people
goes
in this
wrong.
plan.
Yeah.
So Danny's left with the briefcase at a train station.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
He is told that he's got to swap this briefcase for another bag
Yeah.
at the train station.
Yeah.
And there's a woman there waiting for him to do that.
Yes. And he has to, he'll know which woman it is because she'll be sitting down and she has a green purse.
Yes.
And he needs to swap the briefcase that he's got with the bag sitting next to her on the floor. Yeah.
So long story short, he picks up the wrong bag.
Yeah.
He eyeballs a woman
With a green purse.
with a green purse, puts the briefcase down next to her, and
Gets on the train.
picks up her bag,
Yeah.
handbag, and gets on the train. And then as soon as the train door shuts, he makes eye contact with another woman who's also holding a green bag.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah. She's clearly eyeballed him as...
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked that bit. I thought
I like that bit. I think
his panic as he realised what was... I like that.
Yeah,
I thought
that
was really well
yeah.
done.
Danny's really good in this. The guy who plays Danny.
I like
really
both
good.
the leads in
Yeah,
this.
I
I think they were good. It might be the highlight of the film. Is their performance.
It's completely let down by the shocking writing. This is where this whole movie falls apart for me now. Danny's freaking out on the train. This girl's freaking out on the platform. somehow then gets off at the next station,
Yep.
runs back to the original station, and everybody's gone.
Yeah.
Nobody's there anymore, and his briefcase is also gone.
Yeah, he was trying to get back to see if he could swap
it back again.
But everyone had left.
Because you'd think that this woman whose bag that he's taken would have kicked up a fuss because he's taken her handbag.
Yeah, I suppose so.
As far as she knows, she's sitting at this train station and somebody's stolen her handbag.
When you think about it,
Yeah.
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 But I watched it and I was like, that didn't occur to me till later.
Did it really not?
No, I was just going along with the ride.
I don't see why this woman, because this woman has taken the briefcase.
Yeah.
That comes up later in the movie. So this woman who's sitting there, she's not involved in any of this. She's sitting at the train station. She notices her handbag is gone. So what she does is picks up the bag that's next to where her bag was,
Yeah.
and just leaves with that. It doesn't cause any sort of...
Yeah. I had more of an issue with it later on
when it becomes clear that that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The whole film falls apart on this scene for me.
Yeah.
The whole story falls apart on this scene. This woman wouldn't have done that. If somebody nicks your handbag, you don't just go, oh, okay, I'll take that one instead.
I could let it slide.
I'm not. I'm absolutely not letting it slide. I think it ruins the whole movie. Anyway, so he runs back. There's nothing he can do. But then he happens to bump into Ellie outside the train station, even though she drove off earlier and left him there.
Yeah, but she was going back to the train station to get a train away because she came in on the train.
Okay. So where's the car gone that she had? She's
It's
just
not her
dropped that
car.
back. Well, no, it's not her car. She's just dropped that back.
Ditched it.
But anyway, he bumps into Ellie again. Massive coincidence for timing. And she doesn't want to help him. He desperately needs her help because he doesn't have any contacts. He doesn't know who to call, who to contact to say, I've fucked up, I've messed up.
Yeah.
The briefcase gone. I don't know where the briefcase is. I've got some woman's random bag. So Ellie runs away from him a few times, but eventually she's like, look, I'll just call the guy in
don't
charge.
talk to me. Don't talk to me.
It's not my problem. I've done my part of the job. I'm going to get paid no matter what. And Danny's like, you're not going to get paid because the money's not going to appear because I fucked up. So she has to help him out. So she calls the guy in charge. While they're on the phone, they look through this woman's handbag that they've stolen and find a bottle of pills, which has a prescription attached to it, which has the lady's address on it. So Ellie, while she's on the phone, she's like, right, we're fucked up, but we've got an address. We know where the briefcase is.
Yeah,
we're just assuming this woman's done this ridiculous thing, and she has, and we're going to go to her house, swap them back, job done.
I liked when he said, when he was panicking in the argument, and he's just like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. What we haven't really mentioned is the outright frenetic pace of this movie up until this point.
Yes, this is the point where it slows down slightly, but that first 20 minutes or so is pure chaos.
And do you know what? I think it is an active decision to make it chaotic so it covers over some of those cracks that you have pointed out.
Yes, I think it is.
And you're just supposed to go with it.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
But it was
and
interesting.
A lot of people will
to
go
me.
with it.
It was interesting to me that the first 20-25 minutes of this are very much that sort of.
It reminded me a lot of
Safety-esque.
Yeah, I was just going to say it reminded me a lot of Good Time we did a few seasons ago, and like you mentioned the menu,
which I was which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah,
from this movie.
No, I was. Were you not? Because I was worried.
No.
That you had done this intentionally, knowing that I don't like movies like this to piss me off.
I'd say why I chose this movie is
take your word for it.
I'd seen the trailer and thought, oh, that's piqued my interest. I quite like a crimey type thing.
Yeah. IMDb describes it as a romantic adventure.
I don't think there's much romance in it.
Or adventure.
But I think there's the promise or the hint of romance by the end.
Yeah, it's a rom-com without the rom-com without the comedy.
Yeah,
it's how these two people come together and eventually form this relationship.
No, I was taken aback by the frenetic first 25 minutes.
Very chaotic.
Hold my hands up. Honestly, I didn't know that was the start we were
getting. I was convinced earlier today that you'd done this on purpose, knowing that I don't like movies like this.
No, it was a pleasing bonus.
But from this point onwards now, it calms down because they've got a plan.
It does. The foot comes off the accelerator.
It does. They've got a plan. They know they can go to this woman's house. They're assuming she's picked up this briefcase because it wasn't there when he went back. So they can either break in or legally make the swap in some way, and everybody will be happy. So they get back on a train.
Also, in the background, we've got there's so many bosses that these two are working for. So Ellie's got this boss. Is it Russell?
Yes.
But then he's got 3 guys above him.
Yeah.
And this was why? It was so confusing.
So when we get to the end,
Why? What's your hierarchy in this organisation?
when we get to the end, I think what we need to do is break down what actually happens in this movie because it isn't a lot, but there's a lot of people involved. And I think what we'll do when we get to the end of the film, we'll just go through.
All I would say right now is that
how it should have worked.
I think
what
how
the
this
plan
plays
should have
out. Yeah, there was a lot of efficiencies that could have been introduced into this delivery system.
I don't know what was going through somebody's mind. It's talk about over planning.
Yeah.
Anyway, they get on a train. They head out into the suburbs because the film. I don't know if we said is in New York at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right, like city centre New York.
They're heading to this address on this.
Yeah, they're
this
going to this address.
They've still got this lady's back. So
they're trying to. Danny tries to get to know Ellie a little bit while they're on the journey. She won't give him a name to start with.
No,
she's
a closed book.
Yeah, but she said she does start to open up a little bit. She tells him that she originally tells him she's an unemployed cocktail waitress.
Yeah,
but then she said she used to work in a strip club, but not as a stripper, as a bartender.
Yeah.
Which he was fine with. He was like, "That's
and then
I've
she
no
gets
issue if you were a
defensive,
stripper."
like, I'm not a slut.
I'm not. He tells her that he's a chef, when in reality he works in like a kebab house,
It's like Fat Boys Burgers or something.
basically.
But he says he wants to. He
wants to become a chef. Yeah, he calls her pretty and smart in this conversation.
What I did quite like about this back and forth that it is the movie goes out of its way to establish that neither of these two have a cell phone.
Yes,
because that would just make the whole thing fall apart.
Yeah, the whole movie goes away if they've got phones.
Yeah.
But there's reasons, and they do give legitimate reasons why neither of them have them. My favourite line in this movie, in this scene,
it's basically because they're poor.
Yeah, poor people don't have cell phones.
Yeah.
When she's trying to tell him that she's not a slut, she's like, "I've only slept with 7 guys." And I was like, "You don't need to. You weren't even telling me your name.
Yeah.
You're now telling him your body count." It's funny.
I did like their. I don't like the word banter, but their banter was good. I thought they fired off each other quite well.
Yeah, they played off each other really well. She plays like the goofy, doesn't really know what's going on character. And she plays the in control, always has a plan.
She's street smart. He's naive. Not. Yeah.
So it kind of works. They bounce off each other quite nicely. I'm not going to say many good things about this film, but that relationship between these two actually
I thought both of them were good. Yeah.
Yeah. They eventually get lost, so they're trying to find this house. They bump into a man who he kind of catches them going through somebody's mailbox. All they're doing is trying to find where they are.
Work out what street they're on, because it's huge houses. No street. She even says, "Well, there's no fucking street signs." Yeah.
So they go through somebody's mailbox just to get an address, and a man catches them, and he's not the friendliest of men in these suburbs. She calls him a wanker because he drives an SUV.
Yeah, I'd keep walking if I was you.
Yeah, so she does. They do, and eventually they find this enormous house.
Yeah,
that
they work out. They've found the address.
They found the address. It is a beautiful suburban mansion in the suburbs. They knock on the door because all they're thinking is
swap the bags back.
Swap the bags back. We found your bag.
Yeah.
You must have ours. Let's swap them over.
Yeah.
So they knock on the door, and this young girl answers the door and just says it's in the lounge, and leaves them there.
Yeah, don't let the dog out.
Don't let the dog out, and leaves them at this open door in this mansion. Yeah, it was like, okay. They were like, this is weird.
Yeah.
So they just walk in.
And again, they're still trying to do the right thing. They're calling out, saying,
they're trying to find the girl who let them in, yeah.
We're not who we think you are, whoever you think we are.
So they go and have a look around the house to see if they can see the briefcase. Then they can just switch it and nobody would even know they were there.
They can't find it, and it's a huge house.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah.
It's a mansion. So they head upstairs. And eventually they look out the window and they see this man that they met earlier pull up.
Yeah.
Who's already threatened to call the police on them.
Yeah. Turns out it's his house.
Turns out it's his house. This is a bad thing. So they hide. They go and hide in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Eventually they jump out of a window. And they run past the girl that let them in, who's just sitting on the patio outside.
Yeah. But she's like a detached teenager.
Yeah, she's got her earphones, she's got her AirPods in, she's not paying attention. Yeah. She doesn't even raise the alarm when these two people run past her in her own house. And they leave. They need to come up with another plan, basically.
Danny wants to go back. He says, let's just go back.
Yeah.
Why should we change our plan? Doesn't matter if it's that guy who saw us looking in mailboxes.
Yeah.
Just say, we've got this bag. Have you got our bag?
Yeah. But Ellie's not convinced that would work because he's already tapped them for what they are, basically.
And she's like, well, his daughter's going to say we've been sneaking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't go back. So
she wants to go back in the morning.
Yeah. When everybody's
break in.
Yeah, break in again. He knows that she's got more street smarts, and he agrees to go on with that plan. He's like,
He's
okay,
also smitten by this point.
Oh, completely. He's fallen in love. Yeah. He's absolutely fallen in love with this girl. She needs the money. So Danny agrees to the plan and they head to a local bar.
Yeah.
And she makes a phone call. She checks in with, I've written Scott, but I think his name was Russell.
One of them was
one
Scott.
of the guys.
One of them was Russell of this like
people.
The bosses of behind this scheme.
So they're in a bar. They have a drink. These people have got no money, so they're like, "But let's have some food." Then he said, "I quite like this line." He's like, "Kids menu or appetizers."
He says to the barman, "What can I get for $9?"
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
They're both going to be hungry for $9. I would assume.
That was And then he's like, he says to her, "Kids menu or appetizers." I thought that was quite funny. Then they head to a fun fair because fair montages.
It's a montage of them walking around the fair plus their dinner talk, isn't it?
Yeah. Fun fair montages are always fun in a film. That's why that's in there.
And Ellie tells Danny that she needs the payment because she's going to leave Pittsburgh where she lives because she's got a boyfriend who's not very nice.
Yeah, which we've met.
Yeah.
Danny tells her a story about a girl when he was in junior school touching his penis.
Yeah,
which is funny,
and it just shows that he is naive.
Yeah,
she is not.
She is not. Then they need to find somewhere to sleep, so they head back to the house that they're going to break into in the morning.
Yeah,
and sleep in the pool house.
Yeah,
it's got a pool. It's got a pool house. Nobody's going to go in the pool overnight. Let's sleep in the pool house. Ellie says she's cold. Danny wants to cuddle up with us, so he says, "Let's just cuddle up."
Strictly for warmth.
Yeah. No. So they do. They spoon.
She says, "Yeah, don't try anything funny."
Yeah. Scott, I think his name was Scott. Then picks up Ellie's message that she left him earlier.
So he tells his bosses it's fine. They're going to meet us in the morning. There's just been a delay.
He realizes for some reason that Darren isn't with Ellie at this point because he still thinks Danny's brother, is in on this when he's not.
It didn't matter, though.
It didn't matter in the slightest. It's very confusing. Next morning, they wake up. She wakes up first, and he wakes up after that. They then wait for the family to leave.
Yeah.
And
as the family leaves, because it's the first time they've seen the mother.
Yes.
Because they all leave together, the father, the mother, and the daughter.
Yeah.
And Danny says,
That's not the woman.
That's not the woman.
Yeah.
The woman I dropped the briefcase with was...
younger.
Like 20 years younger.
Yeah, a lot younger. But they break in anyway.
Yeah.
Because this is the only...
It's the only lead they've got
is
this address.
Ellie finds a picture of the family.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what happened here. Danny went on the computer and figured out all the family's names. I don't know if he went on the electoral register.
They found the picture.
Yeah.
And Danny said, "That's her."
Yeah, she was in the picture.
That's the woman. And it turned out it was... So I don't know how he either hacked into the computer or it was already open. But he found some emails.
Yeah.
And one of the emails was from the older daughter.
Yeah. Who is the woman with the briefcase?
Some email about some appointment or something.
Yeah.
But it obviously at the bottom, it was from a business address. It had a place of work on it.
Yeah.
It's in her email signature. So they now know where the
woman they're looking for,
with the briefcase works.
Where she works.
It's back in the city.
Yes. So instead of just leaving straight away, they steal some clothes.
Yeah.
Ellie gets changed.
Get washed.
Yeah. Danny even has a shave.
Yeah.
She gives Danny some new clothes.
Makes him a packed lunch.
Makes up a packed lunch. They steal some food from these people. Ellie wears this beautiful dress that just isn't her character at all.
Yeah.
And actually is quite problematic for the rest of a scene further on that she's done this, but she does it anyway. I've written here, what's with the weird country music soundtrack?
It's real. It's old, like even over the credits. It's old timey music.
Yeah, doesn't really fit with the movie.
Yeah, old school, very old school.
Yeah,
and then they steal 2 bikes and ride off.
Yeah, they do.
Now, I didn't. Again, at the time, I just kind of let it flow. It's fine. There's not much to this. But then by the end, I was like, "What? Why did they do all that stealing and use those people's those people's clothes and their bikes?" And
they even stole some money off the table. So it's not like these are good people.
Yeah, but all the way through the film up to that point, Danny was kind of like, "Oh, I don't even know if we should break into the house, and then the next morning it's like, yeah, we'll take the bikes, we'll
take some clothes, you got a nice new dress, I'm gonna have a shave. Yeah, it's really weird. But so they got to the place on a train, but they go back to the city on the bikes.
Yeah.
We get a New York montage at that point. City montage. You've seen a New York montage hundreds of times. You don't need to.
Sure have.
Danny calls home to check in with his mother because he hasn't been home overnight, and the two of the guys who were in charge are at home now with Darren. Darren's back home. He's got out of prison. Back.
Where the hell's our money or our goods or whatever they need? But it was never like there was. I think it was supposed to imply to us that like Darren and Mum were in danger.
Yes,
but they never really were.
They never were
because they were reasonably polite. These bosses.
Yeah. Basically, whilst I can't quite remember how it happened, but Danny calls home, then Ellie calls the bosses, and she mentions that they've got another address for this person, and Darren overhears this lady's name and the address, and then he goes off into his bedroom and makes a phone call to this lady, this Vanessa who's got the briefcase, and he says, "Can you meet up with me somewhere? I've got your bag. Let's meet up and do a bag swap." She's like, "Oh, great. I'm glad you've got my bag. I've been wondering where that is. I've picked up yours. Let's meet up and shop and swap them over."
Yeah.
So at this point, the plot hole from the beginning of the movie is confirmed. And this lady has, for some reason, picked up the next closest bag to hers after hers was stolen and has been okay with that for the now, 2 days since it happened?
Yeah,
day and a half since it happened?
She might have been on the phone to the police and stuff, but you don't need that detail, do you?
Yes.
Why? That's just some admin stuff you don't need.
No, because if this woman's bag had been stolen at the train station, she would have raised the alarm at the train station. The police would have turned up.
Would they?
Or the security for the train station would have turned up. And this would have all still been going on when Danny got back to it. And then your movie's done. It's a plot hole. And it's a really, really fucking big one. I'm sorry. I'm not glossing over it.
I'm not saying you should gloss over it, but I think you might be over fixating.
Okay. But it is all confirmed at this point when this woman agrees.
So basically, the fix, like you say, the fixers are there at Danny's mum's house. The kids call and say, right, we've got the address of this lady. Darren hears it. I can't remember if they write it down or whatever. But then, Darren basically goes off and rings her himself. Yeah. Because he's trying to undercut the the hierarchy.
Yeah.
And he's trying to arrange, well, just come outside.
Yeah.
Give me the briefcase
we'll
back.
Swap.
And presumably he's just going to strong arm her because he hasn't got her bag, remember?
Yeah. Plus, Darren's been told that he isn't going to get paid for this job anymore because Ellie's taken the money because she's the only one who's actually doing any work.
And she kind of agrees over the phone, I'll come out and meet you.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to her and everyone else, Danny and Ellie are outside her building because they've made their own way there.
Yeah.
And they spot her.
Yeah, they see her leaving with the briefcase. Yeah. They recognise the briefcase. They see her leaving. Ellie can't confront this woman because she's wearing her mum's dress.
Yeah.
So Danny has to go and do this now because he's just got a green shirt on that is her dad's, but she's not going to notice that as much as this beautiful blue dress. So Danny follows this woman, meets up with her on a subway staircase, and says, "Hey, love, I've got your bag here. Have you got my briefcase?" "Yeah, I have." And then we just swap them back, and that's all that.
Yeah, because she assumes he's the guy who just phoned her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has got her bag.
Yeah.
The bag swap happens. And that whole part of that movie now is done. We're back where we started. Danny's got the briefcase again. My note here says, "This film's ridiculous. Where are the humans?"
I'm surprised. The reason I'm surprised you're fixated on that bit because the bit that messed me
I'm
up.
fixating quite a lot of it, but that bit
was not that. That wasn't the biggest issue for me in this movie.
What is the biggest? Have we come to that yet?
No.
Okay, let's get there. Because I have got more issues with it. That's just this one's all cleared up now. Danny then calls Darren and says, "I've got your bag. I've got the bag. I've got the briefcase back." Darren says, "Ellie is scamming you. Yeah. I've overheard him on the phone. She's cut you out of the deal. You're not getting any money." Danny already knows he's not getting any money. He's already agreed to this deal. Danny but he doesn't believe it that Ellie's scamming him to start
she-
with. But
she-
Darren convinced they start speaking in Polish.
She
don't
hasn't cut him out.
No.
The
The-
bosses have just said we're not paying the
they?
the
Yeah,
lads.
which Danny was fine with.
Yeah.
Danny agreed with that at
Yeah.
the beginning. He's like, Ellie can have all the money. I don't
Yeah.
care. But at this point, he takes Darren's side and he starts speaking in Polish. And he manages to lose Ellie.
Jumps on a bus.
Yeah, he manages to ditch her. And he jumps on a bus whilst he's on the phone. Ellie's over the other
Yeah.
side of the road. She can't get to him quick enough.
And she
It's-
runs after it.
She runs after it, which makes me wonder why get on a bus in New York if you can run faster, because she gets to the next stop
Just
before the bus does.
I've seen those videos. You know, when people like race the bus or the train.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she beats it to the next stop. Then he just leaves the briefcase on the bus.
Yeah, because he's
He's just done with it. I think he's over it.
He's like, you have it. I don't.
care. I cared 2 minutes ago when I ditched you. I cared, but I don't care now.
Yeah.
So he leaves the briefcase on the bus. She picks it up. She's now got the briefcase. And Danny goes home empty-handed back to Darren. who
Yeah,
is
and
pissed.
Ellie gets is picked up by her boss and put in the back of a car.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh shit, she's in trouble.
Yeah, no, she's fine.
No, it's actually really lovely. She's in the back of this really nice car.
Yeah, she goes to the hotel
Taken
where
to
all
a
the
massive
guys are hanging out. She gets put in this car. They drive off. She doesn't know where she's going. This is interspersed between Danny and Darren having a bit of an argument. Danny actually gets up in Darren's face at one point and says, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And then Darren flicks a cigarette onto his back and burns him. And Ellie is driven to meet a rich lady, I've
Sure.
written in inverted commas.
Yeah.
Danny then nearly sets the kitchen on fire.
Yeah.
Leaves his meal, whatever he's cooking.
His mind's
Just-
elsewhere,
His
I
mind's,
guess.
his mind's all over the place. His mum then nearly sets it on fire more by chucking water on a fat fire. And Ellie delivers the case to this lady. And we find out what's in this case.
Yeah.
Which is, like art print?
Some art, yeah.
Some art.
This lady's recently divorced or going through a
Yeah.
tumultuous separation.
And this is the one thing she couldn't get from her husband.
Yeah.
But now she's managed to get.
Yeah.
And so she's happy about this lady, and she gives Ellie $3,000.
Yeah.
And Ellie leaves.
And she says, I'll let Jimmy know it's done.
I'll let him
Not sure
know.
who Jimmy
Yeah,
is.
I'm not sure who Jimmy is.
Again, probably one of the
Either
other
Scott or
bosses.
Russell we've met. But this is my next big problem with the film. Is this yours? Ellie then turns up at Danny's house.
Oh no, my problem was the whole why has this woman had to go to all this effort to get it back when she could have just hired someone to go
I
and
think we need to break this down at the end.
Yeah. That
The
was
way
my
this
biggest
woman's
issue.
gone about getting this briefcase
Yes, so
is
OTT.
so over the top. I don't really know. So basically, let's do it now. Basically, what's happened is this: presumably, the man who did the drop into the back of Danny and Ellie's car has stolen this briefcase from her husband.
Yeah. From let's say a bank or, well, it doesn't matter wherever it's stored.
Wherever it's
Or
stored.
from the man himself, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So that's been then dumped in the back of Danny's car.
Yeah.
Danny then takes it to a train station where he swaps that bag for another bag.
I presume for the cash.
Maybe.
Because he was dropping the goods, presumably picking up the payment, although he wouldn't know that.
No.
And then he would take the payment back. Yeah.
Okay. So, but what's actually happened is there's quite a lot of people involved.
Yeah.
Who was the lady he should have met then? She's another random.
She would
That
have
would have been the person with the cash.
Yeah, so
Then what could have happened is the man who stole it from the husband could have gone to this rich lady,
just giving it to her.
given it to her.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't
Why
make
is
any
there
sense.
the bag drop is
Completely unnecessary.
and it sounds really weird for me to say. This is a movie about like a bag drop gone wrong.
Yeah.
That's not really about that at all.
No.
Because that's just like it's the MacGuffin, isn't it?
Yeah, completely.
What the movie's
It's
about
completely
is
nonsense.
what the movie's about is
We count the people
Ellie-
involved.
yeah, I know.
So
But the movie's about their
yeah,
relationship.
it is. Yeah.
This is just
This-
the gimmick. But
you've
it's stupid.
So you've got the man who stole the bag.
Yeah.
Ellie, Danny, Darren.
Yeah.
The lady who he should have swatched it with.
Correct. Scott.
Ellie's boss,
Yeah.
Scott. Plus his two bosses.
Yeah.
7.
Plus the old lady.
I've just held up 8 fingers and gone 7. 8 people plus the rich lady. So
Yeah.
9 people have been involved in this.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ellie then turns up at Danny's house. How does Ellie know where Danny lives?
I might have said it. I can't remember.
He doesn't
I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention.
No, with the writers. She decides, Danny's been really nice to me. This $3,000 I've just earned, I'm going to give him half of it.
Yeah, which was what he was supposed to get for.
Which is what he was supposed to get. But she negotiated at the beginning that he wasn't going to get any of
Yeah.
it. But since then, she's fallen in love with him. They've fallen in love with each other. He gives her half the money. She gives him half the money. She's going to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
She's done. I'm done with New York. I'm going to
Well,
leave
he
the
says,
city.
you said you weren't going to go there.
Yeah, but she's going to go.
He's like, I'm going to give him another chance.
Yeah, and Danny's like, okay, well, if you're going to go, you're going to need a Metro card. I know you've not got a Metro card. This came up earlier in the movie. Have my Metro card. Here's your Metro card. She then leaves. As soon as she leaves,
He's like,
I quite like this girl.
I've got to go after her.
I'm going to have to go after
I'm
her.
going to do the big movie.
Run it. It should have been
gesture.
raining in this scene, and it wasn't. He packs a bag, very quickly packs a bag, and goes after her. He leaves some of the money for his family, presumably for his mum, not for Darren, I wouldn't have thought. He takes them with him. When he gets to the train station, he has an issue. He doesn't have a Metro card.
Of course he hasn't.
Because he's just given it to Ellie. So he gives the man $100 for a swipe of his Metro card to get him through onto the train tracks. Bearing in mind that if he's left half of the money with his parents, he's now down to $600 for all of this.
Did you not think it was sweet how he was still trying to get in legally? Whereas at the
He
start
was,
of the movie, she was like hurdling barriers and
Yeah,
stuff.
he didn't just hurdle over the barrier.
Yeah.
He did pay somebody $100 to use their Metro
I
card.
thought that was a nice touch.
Meanwhile, Ellie's buying a ticket to Pittsburgh, has a crisis of confidence at the last minute and doesn't buy a ticket to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
She decides she's going to Providence, Rhode Island instead.
Because that's the only place that Danny had said he'd been on like vacation earlier in the movie.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't pick up on that. That's good. He's running through the train station, it's the bus station, sorry. He's running through the bus station trying to find her. She doesn't know he's been looking for her, but eventually they run into each other and you get this nice, sweet reunion scene. And he's like, can I come with you to Pittsburgh? And she's like, you can come with me, but I'm not going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm going to Providence. He then kisses her and she freaks out, pushes him away.
No, she leans in and then tries to. It's a half kiss,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
They're not quite at that stage yet.
Yeah. He's automatically, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And she says, no,
you're fine. This is my issue. We're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
They then walk off into the bus station.
No, she says it's a start.
Yeah, she does.
And he says, I'll take a start.
Yeah.
I thought that was sweet.
Yeah. Then they walk off into the bus station.
Yeah.
And the movie ends.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Nick?
Look, it's a mess. It's a real mess. But I kind of just went with it. I thought it was fine. It's got some massive glaring issues.
It's got some massive glaring issues.
I can put aside the whole, the sort of, because I think she's a minor character, I can put aside the whole woman not bothered about, or seemingly not bothered about losing her back. But I would love to know, I'd love a deleted scene with the rich old lady planning this heist and why she, like, you can imagine her, can't you? Like with the Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme with all the red bits of string on. It was like, this will only work if I have 9 people in 8 different places to get this.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
It's like, why is this scheme so complicated?
But it literally is get a briefcase from your husband and have it.
So that was my big issue.
That's my big issue with it. That is my big issue with it. It's just nobody acts like it is an unusual thing what's going on in this whole movie, that it just doesn't make any. I would go as far as saying I think this is one of the worst written movies we've ever seen.
But I don't know how,
writing wise, I think it's terrible.
I don't know how tightly it is written. I'm not saying it's like improv, but it's like
an AI's done it.
It's almost like it's not important.
Yeah.
Because it wants to bamboozle you for the first 25 minutes with the sort of hectic in your face style. Then it takes its foot off the gas, by which time it hopes you've not really paid attention to the fact that this woman wouldn't be that bothered about losing her bag. And actually, I really did buy into the central relationship. I think they're really good together.
I did as well. I think those two.
I just wish that happened in a bit of a good film.
It feels like somebody's gone into ChatGPT and gone, "Can you write me a failed backdrop movie with a romantic twist?" And this is what it's come out with, because the writing is awful.
And I think one of the big problems with it and why it's so uneven is like there's no threat. Like Danny's panicking because he knows he's dropped a bollock.
Yeah.
But
he's never in any.
But Ellie
trouble.
never really panics.
No.
And there's no threat from like the higher ups.
No.
They're a bit angry, but no, at no point is anyone going like, oh,
"We're going to fucking kill you if you don't get back."
Yeah, we're going to cut your brother up if you don't get me the briefcase.
No,
back.
it's never. It's only worth $3,000 to anybody.
It's quite low stakes.
Yeah,
and then it's just topped off by the fact that the length that this old lady seems to have gone to just to get.
Because she gives Ellie an envelope
back.
of $3,000, but we don't find out how much everybody else is
exactly.
from.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what Scott or Russell or whatever his name. There's 9 people you've got to pay.
Yeah.
What's everybody else earning? Why is she only paying Ellie? How's she getting the rest of the money to everybody else?
The problem is it completely falls apart under scrutiny.
It really does.
But
I don't think I've ever
the point
seen...
of this show is to do a bit of scrutiny on a movie.
It is, and that's what we've done now for nearly 200 movies. But I don't think we've ever been able to make one fall apart as much as this one has.
I think we have.
It just feels like this one's just fallen apart so easily.
Having said that, I quite enjoyed it. Like, it was fun. It was breezy.
It was only an 80-odd minute movie.
Yeah.
There's no... You can't say it's boring because it never stops.
No. It doesn't know what it is. The style is all over the place.
Yeah. I hated it. But I think I hated it because...
You were annoyed by it.
I was annoyed by it. And
yeah.
I watched it like through puzzled eyes. I'm like, what am I watching?
You're like, when is this going to...
None of this makes any
what's
sense.
going to bring it together?
Yeah.
And then nothing does.
Will this all come together at the end and will all these plot holes get filled in? And they don't. And it's so shoddily written. I just can't get past it. The directing's beautiful. The actors, both the main characters, are really good. It looks nice.
Yeah.
The montages are great. The soundtrack's a bit weird. But the writing is shocking, and the writing really lets it down for me, and I can't get past it. I just can't. I just don't think it can be... I don't think you can call it a good movie when it falls apart as easily as it does.
I do not disagree with your criticisms, but I think I just let it... I think the reason why they kind of washed over me a bit more is that, like, this type of movie is more my sort of chillax movie.
Yeah.
Whereas... I know we've sat here and had this exact conversation, but in reverse, about like slasher flicks. Because you'd be like, "Oh, just let that go," because I like this sort of movie. And I'd be there going, well,
I don't think even
really annoyed me.
Even in my favourite type of movies, a plot hole that big, I don't think I could let go. Even in one of those movies, I think you're being unfair on me there.
I don't know. I mean, I would have to go back and check the tape, but I can remember. I feel like we had a similar conversation, but the other way round on He's Out There, where we
fucking hell, you're going back a long time there.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
That's a terrible movie.
I'm not saying this is a great movie. I'm just saying I kind of let it wash over me a bit, and I didn't not enjoy it.
That's right. That's fine because sometimes
trust me. In 3 minutes time, I'm not about to be arguing this to go in the top 5 of the stream table.
I think saying 3 minutes time, I'm going to completely forget everything about this movie. It is going to be one of those movies in a year time where we'll be like, what the fuck was that?
It's not going to make an impact on me. You know, I might look back in weeks, months ago. Oh yeah, those two were good in that movie. But that's it.
It hasn't made me angry that it's bad.
Yeah.
And we have seen movies in the past where I'm like, that's so bad it's made me angry. This hasn't, because I can laugh at it. Because it's so stupid that I'm just laughing at it, and I'm all right with that. I do genuinely think it's a terribly written film. Terribly written.
Yeah.
But hey-ho, what's the best thing about it?
It's easily their 2 performances. Although you pulled out some nice stuff there. It is shot well. The on location stuff is because they're outside all the time.
Yeah, New York's a character in this movie.
Yeah, and so are the suburbs.
Yeah,
and the house.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But it does capture well like the sort of oppressiveness of like the little apartment he's living in, and then they're clear. These 2 characters, Ellie and Danny, are clearly like wowed as the you know, they start to be amongst actual trees and grass.
They've never been out of the city
houses.
before. I don't think.
But that's kind of not focused on it, and it's a nice little bonus. So that's good. But it's their 2 performances. I liked both of them.
I agree. I think I
very charismatic.
Yeah, I think without those 2 in it, I probably would have hated it a lot more. So that's saying something.
If you'd have, if this had been this movie written like this, plus with a shit cast,
it's right.
I don't know what you've got.
Yeah, it's a real mess.
The cast elevate what is they do their best.
They do their best
with what
they've
are
been
given.
given. It's a shit movie with decent actors in it.
I don't think it's shit. I think it's fine. It's just unremarkable.
What I would ask you what you would change about it, but I think there's so much we could just do a whole podcast on what you would change about this movie.
You can make it longer. You can. It needs more drama and tension. There's no threat. It's threat level 0.
Completely, it does. It needs some sort of threat in there. It needs the plot holes do need tying up, whatever way you look at it. I feel like the guy who wrote it is a better director than he is a writer. Let's put it that way. So it needed a rewrite. Needed at least one more rewrite. I think maybe 2.
Because you've got Danny's character is like, oh, I'm in real trouble. We've got gangsters after us. What the hell's going on? Yeah. But the stakes are so low. Like no one else is after.
By the time he gets home, the gangsters are not even there anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
They've just left Darren.
There's like vague implied threat.
Yeah.
Like when they're chasing up the phone calls. But then presumably the lady just calls them all off when she knows the briefcase is on the way back.
I assume so. The guy who plays Ellie's boyfriend/boss has got cargo shorts on. He's fine. He's absolutely fine. Right, let's talk stream table. Shall we read it from the bottom?
Do you want to do that and I'll stop you again?
Yeah, do you want to do that? Or do you want to do it and I stop you?
Okay, fine.
Something different.
Yeah?
Okay.
Fine. From the bottom?
Yes.
Okay, so 17 is Smart Christmas, the Bulgarian Christmas TV musical. In 16 is Theatre of Fear, aka the Midnight Horror Show. In 15 is Needle in a Time Stack. In 14 is Another Round.
Stop. I don't know which side if I want to stop that on.
Okay.
It's somewhere around Another Round for me.
Okay.
What about you?
A little bit higher.
Okay.
Not loads higher. I think, for me, I would have it 11th.
Above The Ledge? Above Take the 10?
Yes.
Wow.
But
that surprises me because...
Not as good as last week's movie.
That surprises me that you would go above Take the 10 because we both actually quite like that. And we were the only 2 people who did like that. I think there's some people cheering at their podcast players right now.
I did quite like Take the 10. I didn't mind this either. So I think they're quite a
I'll give you
place together.
How about we come in the middle then? I'll give you Another Round in the Mansion, but I won't give you The Ledge and Take the 10.
Yes.
And I don't want you to feel gaslitted because I feel like I've been accused of that again today. And I don't do it. I don't know where it comes from.
I just thought The Ledge was really shit.
I did as well, but I thought this was worse. I also think The Mansion's better than this, but I'm prepared to come up because I'm a nice guy. I'm coming up from where I think it should go.
Yeah, but you could come up one more.
I don't think I can. I don't. In all good conscience, I don't think it's better.
How many are you coming up?
I've come up from beneath Another Round in the Mansion. You've come down from Take the 10 and The Ledge, and we've met in the middle.
I mean, I suppose I can't really argue with that.
In all good conscience,
I don't feel like
I just think it's a better movie than the. I don't think it's a better movie than The Ledge.
No, The Ledge. All right, okay. I will have it there. I will agree with you.
Okay,
but I want on record that in no way, in my opinion, is this movie worse or less problematic than The Ledge. Because
if we're talking problematic, then yes.
I thought The Ledge was not good at all.
No, don't get me wrong. None of these movies in this area are good. This is a bad area of the stream table.
I would say this.
I think everything below Take the 10 is a bad movie.
Okay, so my opinion, I'm slightly different because I would just have that gap after this movie. I think this is the worst good movie we've seen this season.
Okay, that's fair.
That was why I would put it there. Whereas you're putting it in the not so good movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd go lower.
Just want to put that on there.
Personally, I'd go lower. So where did we decide in the end? Below the Mansion?
No, below the ledge.
Sorry.
Stop trying to gaslight me by sneaking an extra one in.
Don't do that.
It's fair. Look, I've come down 2, you've gone up 2. That's fair.
If it's ended up 13th.
Yeah.
So I think that's fair. Maybe a little bit too high for me still, but it is what it is. It's not my table. It's our table.
Exactly.
Cool. Shall we pick next week's movie?
Yeah, let's do it.
What would you like to watch next week, Nick?
How about a crime caper?
A really chaotic New York set crime caper.
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi. That's an unusual one.
I've done sci-fi for a bit.
Should we call out Robin, see what he's got for us?
Yes, please, Robin. What have you got?
It has picked a movie called Below Zero.
Okay.
Any ideas?
No, not really.
I can reveal that it is a Spanish movie.
Oh, okay.
Now, Spanish movies historically do very, very well on this show.
Yeah, they do.
I still think one of the best movies we've ever seen on the show was Spanish. So it's.
I think two.
Yeah,
Two are the best we've ever
possibly
seen.
two. Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Do you want to know the synopsis?
Yes, please.
Below Zero came out in 2021. It's an 18. IMDb describes it as an action adventure crime drama horror thriller.
Oh, well, covering all the bases.
Literally. On a lonely road, a prison transport is brutally assaulted. Martin, the policeman who was driving, survives and fortifies his position while the con men search for a way to finish him.
Okay.
When it says con men, I think it means cons, like prison
yeah.
cons. I think that's a translation issue.
It's not like getting held hostage and forced to do a Ponzi scheme.
Do you want to know one of these really weird bottom of the stream coincidences
Okay.
that happen every so often?
Sure.
Javier Gutierrez is the main sar in this movie.
Right.
Javier Gutierrez is in Assassin's Creed.
No way.
With the guy from this week's movie.
No way.
What are the chances? Why is the whole cast of Assassin's Creed appearing recently? Yes, Spanish movie. Spanish movie. Runs for 146, so not too bad.
Excellent.
So yeah, go out and watch Below Zero, and we'll be back. No, go out and watch Below Zero, and in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, loads of all the cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
Briefcase.
Nice. I think you probably can actually get something like that on there.
Did everyone have a briefcase now?
No.
I can't think of anyone in my office who actually carries a briefcase.
What is a briefcase? What constitutes a briefcase?
Yeah, so not like exactly that. Yeah, with
like
a combination
with a couple of locks that you click, and then the whole thing, the top opens
for your papers.
I don't know anybody
for your important papers that you can't.
They've
fold.
kind of become
businessman papers.
A lot of people carry satchels with laptops in at my place now, but not briefcases.
Yeah, so I have a work laptop, and that's in like a laptop bag.
Yeah,
like a rucksack. But no, I'm talking
full on handle briefcase,
old style briefcase.
No, I don't know anybody who's got one.
Yeah. Well, you can get one on our website.
You can get one on our website. Maybe. I don't know. After you've done all that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there, for a couple of quid every month, you'll get early access to episodes. You'll get bonus episodes. You will get a newsletter that Nick writes every month. And if you come in at the top level, you will get a wildcard, which means you can do what Nick's just done and successfully fail at winning this season's competition. If you pick the best one, you'll win a prize. After you've done all of that, head over to Discord. The Discord link will be in the bottom of the show notes, and it is full of wonderful movie-loving people who we have a lot of fun with. They're like a little family that we've developed with, and we have loads of cool stuff going on. We have games, we do movie watch-along. We've got a movie watch-along coming up in a couple of weeks, so join in time for that. Loads of other cool stuff. Yeah, it's just great. It's a great place to hang out and be around like-minded, movie-loving people.
Do it. Come and make some new friends. You won't regret it.
You will not.
If you've got a few minutes spare, please consider leaving us a review or a rating anywhere you can review or rate podcasts. We're on all of those places. Podchaser, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, loads of others. All of them. We're there. Find us.
Do it.
Now.
Now. You've been demanded. Yep, tell your friends, tell your nan, tell whoever you can about Bottom of the Stream. And we'll be back on Monday for The Wave and next Thursday for the movie show.
Cheers!
Bye!